Hello traders and investors, I'm Ellie Little and this is your daily NeoTA wrap. We take a look at these markets and we do it from a neoclassical perspective. That means each time we ask ourselves what happened today and what might it tell us about the coming days. I do this show 4 times a week, every Monday through Thursday. It's broadcast at or before 10 o'clock Eastern Time, archived on YouTube, and it's under the channel LA Little. If you want to subscribe, reach up in the right-hand corner, hit the subscription button. Anytime I push content that's not for members only, you'll get a notification and be able to view it and be notified of it. As far as what happened today, let's take a quick look here at the ending numbers. You had another push-up, some follow-through from yesterday's burst higher. Big moves overseas again. The DAX up 1.25%, almost 1.5%. You had the Hang Seng up 2.75%. The Nikkei was up as well, about 0.5%, a little bit more. So you actually had a push in those that have been lagging. You had continuation moves up in Europe. You had a weaker euro. It actually tried to reverse at the end of the day. We'll take a look at those a little bit. And we had follow through on the markets itself. If we look, we also had some other reversals. The dollar was down a little bit. Gold and silver tried to reverse, actually did reverse. Gold still finished down on the day, but it was down about 11 bucks early. Ends up down about 3.5, 4. So that's where the general markets are. As far as what's happening here at TA today, you know, I've been talking about, I think last Thursday I announced I was going to take 10 subscriptions from those of you who are interested, to teach you exactly how NeoTA today works, the neoclassical TA. All you have to do is just write me at tat@tatoday.com. Drop me an email. Unfortunately, there's only one slot left. Only one slot not taken care of. We had 3 last night. 2 more were filled today. So if you're interested, you know, it's probably your last shot at this. So give me a little jingle. Write me an email. Tell me you're interested. And if so, I'll get you signed up if you're the first one tonight. As far as what else is happening, and just to follow up on that, you know, what we're going to do is a 3-day series. I'm going to go over what is technical analysis from a neoclassical perspective. What is the model? How does it work? How do all the tools on the TA Today site work? How can you do the same sort of reads that you see me do on a nightly basis? Of course, it will take practice, and it's a crash course, but it will get you started, and it gets you started in a good way. And so if you're interested and you really want to know how to read the chart so that you can trade better, invest better, then give me a jingle and I'll get you signed up if you're the next one. So let's get going here with the rest of this show and see what happens. So let's start with the general markets. All right, if we turn our attention to the NASDAQ of course gets follow through as well. NASDAQ was the impetus on the way up here. Gets over swing point high. Looks like it's going to be light on volume. Yeah. And so, and actually lighter than volume than yesterday. So, looks to me like what's happening is you're coming into 2 wide price spread bars. That's going to give it resistance here, and already has started, it looks like to me, this area right here. And so I would think that you're going to see the NASDAQ maybe a little follow through tomorrow, and then some sort of a retrace. Moving over to the NDX, let's see what that one looks like. Of course, just a tighter set of stocks than the NASDAQ composite itself. Gets over swing point high. That one's also going to be suspect breakout. Now this one's a little different. If you remember, you got the gap down here in this area. That gap down is going to be resistance on the way back. That's a wide price spread bar, and so what I would expect is as this one tries to push into that area, it too is going to have problems. So we're getting close, essentially, you know, just looking at this, we're getting close to a point where you're going to get some sort of a retrace as a result of this move. Finally, let's look at the small caps. Small caps get a nice push, gets over a swing point high. There's nothing there. Let's go over to the weekly and see what we got on it. And this breakdown bar, it's still coming back into 1134 was the top, and you close tonight at 1141. Oh, here's the big bar. So you got high volume bar over here. That's 1163. and then 1163, got another 20 points. So this could push a little bit higher, and then it's gonna run into the same problem that it ran into the last time it came up here. So all the indexes look fine. A little bit more push potentially tomorrow, and then some sort of a retrace. They may just start that retrace right away. So in other words, if you made that run with them, you've got the meat of the move. You want to book some of those gains. If you take a look at what's happening overseas, you had big follow through overseas. If we look at Germany, the German market gaps up, never looks back, going after a swing point high now, and doing about the same volume. So that too looks like that's going to run into something that will finally give it a little bit of resistance. Let's see if France looks the same. And the one that it was actually for telling this move up was Switzerland. We'll look at that one next. France really looks the same, nothing there. Let's look at the Swiss market. Now Switzerland has been getting the currency devaluation that was really starting to push this up. You see the continuation move here going after the swing point high. I think Switzerland's the ones to watch. It's going to attack that high, 82.10, almost 82.11 on the SMI. That would be the mark, and that's not that far away. If we take a look at the Asian markets, I'll start here with the Hang Seng. Hang Seng has a nice big spike higher on volume. Gets up into the swing point high. Looks to me like it's going to take it out tonight and get up into this next bar. Top of that one's 25.46. I would think that's where it's going to find resistance. If we look at the Nikkei, right now, Nikkei not doing quite as well, not getting the currency devaluation that they need in order to push them much higher. And so if we take a look at the Nikkei, really right up here at the resistance zone. You got this huge bar down. That means you can trade all the way to the top of it, but there's really nothing there. Let's look at the weekly. And you got the swing point low high, which is 17.099. I think that's the resistance on this one. If we pop over to the Shanghai, Shanghai is stuck in the mud. Can't get anything going. I saw that they put their currency devaluation down. They pegged their yuan a little bit lower again today. It's the lowest it's been in some time now. Still can't move that market. China having some deep problems. Let's look inside the indexes. I would go to the currencies. There's not a lot to show you. The one thing I was looking at on the currencies, matter of fact, let's look at this one together. So if I pull over on the OX markets, pull the currencies up. One of the things I've been looking at lately is the British pound. The reason for that is you've got a vote coming up in Britain with respect to do they want to leave the European Common, the Brexit as they're calling it. And if you look at the currency, if the pound is getting stronger, that's telling you that more than likely that vote is not going to fly and that they're actually going to stay in the EU, or at least this current relationship. And that's what is happening here. You got an ABCD structure, got over the B point today, looks to go higher, get back up into these lows. To me, this is telling us that more than likely that election is going to end up failing. Not election, but that vote is going to end up failing the referendum, and they're not going to exit. Let's go back. I want to pop you over to the individual sectors, because I think that's where the tells are tonight. If we look inside the sectors, you're going to see some failures. For example, let's go to the home builders, which were dropped huge yesterday as they popped on big volume. Today they get over it, back under it. They get into the top of the breakdown bar and fell. And they actually fell on less volume, I think, and they did. So you go over, less volume, back underneath. That says you're going to come right back down again. So if you're in this market, hopefully you took your money and going to get a pullback. Can you come back into the market? Sure, but you're going to get a pullback here. If you look at the transports, no, the SOX. The SOX is the other one that was moving. This is what's pushing on the indexes from the perspective of the NDX itself. And as the SOX pushes higher, it breaks 3 swing points today on a daily. And if you look at it on a weekly, it's breaking this swing point. Now, what we have seen lately, typically these types of moves just continue. Problem is now that you have this move and it's so extended, right, such a big move, these we've been seeing fail of late. In other words, when you have that sort of multiple time frame breakout, the only case that they typically fail is when they're too extended at the time that they make the breakout. This one looks at that way. It may not even hold the breakout by the end of the week. I think it's one to watch, because if the SOX does start to pull back, you're going to see the same thing on the NDX itself. Finally, if we look at, and finally, you had some good stuff happen. For example, the financials, they actually break a swing point high here. They got a nice move up. We actually bought this breakout here, made a nice move on it. Actually got a couple moves on it, and you know, got the top, got out today, took our profits. Had a little ABCD up. If you're looking at it this way, I can show that to you here. So you had a small ABCD structure that formed, fired, shot up, got its target, and that was where you took your profits. So if we look at it in overall, it looks to me like you're going to get a little bit more push tomorrow potentially, and then some sort of a pullback, and that's where we stand tonight. And again, if you want to take advantage of that seminar I'm doing, 3 days, all you need to do is subscribe for a year. You get all the tools. You get me teaching you how to use everything and how to trade these markets neoclassically. That's it for tonight. Have a great one. I'll see you next time. Good night.